Hello and welcome back to another edition of Inside the Inferno, where we bring you the latest on Arizona State athletics. I'm Isabella Perez and I have the pleasure of being alongside Emma Wakefield. Emma, I don't know about you, but with spring sports about to start, I'm excited for what's about to come.
That's right, Isabella. The spring semester has sprung and winter sports are in full swing here in the desert. Between preseason softball and midseason basketball, we have all the coverage you need here on Inside the Inferno.
There has been some outstanding playmakers making an impact throughout their seasons. And for more on that, we send it over to Tanner Buck with this week's edition of Sun Devil 6.
Thanks, Isabella. It is my pleasure to bring us back into this spring semester's first edition of the Sun Devil 6. Kicking us off at number 6 is Sun Devil men's basketball's very own Mo Odom, letting it fly with 33 points on 58% shooting in their win over Cincinnati. Coming in at number 5 is Sun Devil hockey's Logan Morrell, who scored off tic-tac-toe passing in the second period against North Dakota. Driving in at number 4 is Odom again, this time using his vision on the fast break to make a falling pass around a Bearcat defender to find Adrija Gribovic for the three-point splash. Passing it along at number 3 is Sun Devil hockey's Cruz Lucius, locating Carmelo Crandall on the one-timer in the power play in the second period against North Dakota. Staying on the ice at number 2 is Johnny Waldron's breakaway backhand beauty against North Dakota. Flying in at number 1 is Sun Devil men's basketball's Alan Mukeba with the facial over a Knight defender on the poster against UCF. Guys, that is all for this week's edition of the Sun Devil 6 as I send it back to Emma and Isabella back at the desk.
Thanks, Tanner. Now we head to the court where women's basketball took on its rivals from down south. Our Tyler Wargo is in studio to break down the game.
After 2 losses on the road, the Sun Devils are back in the win column with a record of 18-4. This past Wednesday, ASU hosted Arizona, defeating the Wildcats 68-61. Gabby Elliott led the Maroon and Gold in scoring with 22 points. McKenna Brackens collected her 7th double-double of the season and had 10 rebounds along with 3 assists. Though the late-night game was close, defense proved crucial for the Sun Devils, who totaled 11 steals and 4 blocks as a team. The defense forced Arizona to become the 12th team to turn the ball over 20 or more times against ASU since Molly Miller took over as head coach. If the Sun Devils want to keep their success going, they have to rely more on Elliott as she scored 8 of her 12 points in the final quarter. They would then need to rely on players like Heloisa Carrera and Deborah Davenport in the paint to apply the spark on defense. But for now, Arizona State is looking ahead to its next game on February 1st at Desert Financial Arena as they host Kansas State at 2 p.m. Back to you all at the desk.
Now over to the men's side where they take on the number 1 ranked and undefeated Arizona at home tomorrow. Kobe Bronstein joins us live from Desert Financial Arena. Kobe, ASU largely controlled Tuesday's game against UCF, but what went wrong down the stretch?
Hey guys, yeah, definitely a disappointing result for Bobby Hurley and company. They would have loved the win coming out of Orlando against one of the best teams in the Big 12, and we know how much of a gauntlet that conference is day in and day out. And it was a game where ASU led by as much as 11 with just over 5 minutes to go. According to ESPN Analytics, at that time in the game, they had a 96% chance to win, and in the end, UCF came out on top by 3. And it was also a game in which the UCF started 2 for 17 from beyond the arc. They drained their last 5 from distance. And for ASU, they weren't able to generate their own offense, and especially in terms of the offensive rebounding department, it resulted in that huge victory for UCF in the end in front of their home crowd. And unfortunately for Bobby Hurley and the Devils, they were unable to walk out with a win where it could have given them so much confidence heading into a rivalry game this weekend against the number 1 team in the country.
ASU kept the first matchup surprisingly close against Arizona in Tucson. What did the Wildcats do to finally pull away late?
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, I'm not your typical betting man, but if you were to tell me that ASU would be down 1 possession with just under a minute to go, I certainly wouldn't have believed you, and thousands of experts across the country would have had the exact same sentiment. And it was the 2 big men in the front court for U of A that dominated throughout the contest. Toby Awaka with 25 points, including being 8 for 8 from the charity stripe for a guy that's normally just a 65% free throw shooter, and then their star freshman, the 5-star coming into the year, in Koa Pete with with 24 points and 10 rebounds. Both those guys were so dominant that Masamba Diop had no answers. And not only that, but this is the #1 team in the country we're talking about, guys. And they had perhaps one of the most impressive performances against a star freshman in AJ Debansa and BYU. And they're looking to continue that same momentum into a rivalry matchup that they already don't need to get hyped for enough because they've circled that game on their calendar. They know how important that game is heading into Desert Financial Arena this Saturday.
Thank you, Kobe, for the insight on this exciting matchup. Tip-off is set for 12 p.m. tomorrow at Desert Financial Arena. It's a game you won't want to miss.
The Sun Devils are coming in hot, debuting their new jerseys featuring alumnus James Harden's brand. The front of the jersey captures his branded H, and on the back collar lies number 13. Harden played 2 seasons as a Sun Devil, leading the Pac-10 in points, made free throws, and steals. It's a full circle moment for ASU basketball as Harden gives back to a program where it all started for the now 11-time All-Star. The new jerseys will be worn tomorrow against Arizona as the Sun Devils look to even the series against the Wildcats this season. Switching over to the Diamond, where ASU softball is coming off a Big 12 semifinal appearance last season, we are here joined by our Kai Janagabis. Kai, thank you for joining us. How do you expect this season to go compared to last season?
Well, for starters, this team is going to have to make a huge change to its game plan, especially with all of the newcomers and transfers they've received this past offseason. The Sun Devils have a lot more unfamiliar faces than returners this year, but however, we need to remember that ASU made its first regional game since 2022 last year, and head coach Megan Bartlett needs to keep the momentum heading into this season. Plus, Arizona State knows how to play ball against top 25 teams, where they snagged 6 victories against ranked opponents last season alone. And if they can connect all the dots once again, I wouldn't be shocked if this team found themselves in a similar position like last year and go even further in regional play. That should be the expectation for the squad moving forward.
Well, if that's the expectation for the team, what transfers are you looking for the most out of this season?
Well, for one, I'm taking a look at some of the talent ASU was able to take away from its rival, Arizona. Those being Aisa Silva and Emily Shep. Silva adds much-needed depth at the pitching position, who also might be one of the better strikeout pitchers in all of Arizona, where she recorded 110 strikeouts in her sophomore year and set down 21 batters in 26 season last year, all while maintaining opponent batting averages of 248 or less. On the other hand, Emily Schwepp, she will help add some much-needed power in the heart of the lineup after posting a .449 slugging percentage and hammering home 5 home runs through 22 starts last season.
Yeah, and as for the rookies trying to make a name for themselves, who do you think can help ASU succeed this season?
Well, I think the main rookie to look at is going to be one that adds a lot of needed power, and that is Jasmary Roberts, who batted .486 last season and also posted a 500-plus on-base percentage. She will be a huge part of this lineup if she can make the adjustment to college play. But as for the Sun Devils and the adjustments the team is going to have to make, that will consist of 3 main things. And that is 1, relying on some of its young stars. 2, make sure the chemistry and the energy is up in the dugout. And 3, work on pitching as much as possible this year.
Thanks for joining us at the desk, Kai, to preview Sun Devil softball season. Now we're joined by Julia Coyne, who has more information regarding Arizona State's home opener against the University of Oklahoma on February 5th. Julia, what can you tell us about this matchup?
The last time these two teams met, ASU lost 5-3 in 2021. Oklahoma then went on to win the Women's College World Series 4 years in a row. Oklahoma is looking to start its season strong after losing in the 2025 World Series to Texas Tech. The Sun Devils are hoping to spoil that.
You mentioned the Sun Devils looking to be spoilers. What's it going to take to defeat the Sooners?
Yeah, the Sun Devils will need to stop the Sooners' dominant offense. In 2025, Oklahoma ranks 2nd in home runs, 6th in RBIs, and 7th in total runs. The pitching staff has to be at its best, and there is no room for errors. With star pitcher Sam Landry graduating from Oklahoma, LSU transfer Sydney Berzon will be stepping into the pitching circle with a 2.2 career ERA. It's important that the Sun Devils capitalize on the loss of Landry and the new pitching staff.
Who are some players we should be watching out for?
Ella Parker will be the biggest threat on offense for the Sooners. Last season, she had an on-base percentage of .521 and a batting average of .423 with 74 hits, 51 runs, and 15 home runs. For the Sun Devils, Kenzie Brown will be stepping into the circle. In 2025, Brown had a 1.28 ERA and is ranked 5th in the nation for the preseason poll as a pitcher. Brown commented on what she worked on over the offseason. Take a listen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think developing my drop ball has been the biggest thing. It's going to be really challenging for hitters to see two pitches going in the same tunnel, going different directions. So I think that's what's going to set me apart this year.
Thanks, Julia. We will see if the Sun Devils are up for the test come next Thursday at Farrington Stadium.
Sun Devil hockey hits the road for the first time in a month. Our Parker Bay previews the series.
On the heels of being swept by number 4 ranked North Dakota, Arizona State hockey heads north to Colorado Springs to take on the Colorado College Tigers for a 2-game road series. The NCHC's last place program earned 4 points during its early November trip to Tempe. Colorado College is led by Owen Beckner. The sophomore forward tops the Tigers in assists and points this season. ASU head coach Greg Powers shared what needs to change going forward.
But it's been that close all year for us. We have to find a way to use these experiences, improve our mindset in the big moments, and get over the hump. We've done it in stretches. In CC, we were down 3, we come back and win in a shootout. Ohio State, down 3 in the third, come back and win. So the team has done it. The bounce back against Denver. You get blitzed on Friday night, you turn around the next day, you win. Up at North Dakota, same thing. So we have it in us. We just have to find it more consistently, and that's the I think the challenge you always have with a youthful team is finding that winning consistency.
The Maroon and Gold hold the all-time series against Colorado College with a record of 7-6-1. The Sun Devils look to jump back over the 500 mark this season at Ed Robson Arena this weekend.
Thanks, Parker. That'll do it for this edition of Inside the Inferno. Isabella, it was a pleasure to share the desk with you today.
Same here, Emma. If you want to keep up with everything Arizona State athletics, do not forget to follow us on X and Instagram at Inferno Intel, and check out our website at infernointelmedia.com. For Emma Wakefield and our entire crew behind the scenes, I'm Isabella Perez, and thank you for tuning in to Inside the Inferno.